Wait, say that again.
Fords have these new style heater hoses that are all crimp connection, plastic crimp connections. Well, eventually they get old and brittle and give up, which is the case here today. We're going to show you how to replace the heater hoses on a newer style Ford pickup. First, you got to undo these clamps that go down here to this distribution block. Maybe. Here we go. This is where they put 10 pounds of poop in a 5-pound bag, as is with all new cars. So it's always difficult to get down in here, and the mechanical part's not hard, it's the contortionist part. There we go. Okay, so you got a little, most of that's water because we've already had this
Happened before.
issue before. On our way back from NPK Denver, it gave up, and we'll show you that part that gave up here in a second. Now, I hope this is the right hose because this does not look the same as that one. Let me look at this one.
No, I think it's.
This is the same up top. That one goes to the same one, and then that one goes down.
Right now we're trying to work on getting that little zip tie clip off. And yeah, still dripping, but we're trying to work on that.
Okay.
It's a pain.
Okay, I got these two down here though. It is. Okay. It's just a pain in the butt zip tie clip. Okay, factory stuff. Back from Denver. On our old hose, they have these crimp tees. On these new Fords, they got these molded in factory crimp plastic tees. Well, they're all over the truck for the cooling system and the heating system and for all the antifreeze and stuff to run through. They come off the water pump. They're on the water. They're on the radiator hoses. These here are the heater hoses, and they go down to like a power steering cooler. This is all one factory unit. They sell it as one piece. It doesn't come. You can't buy separate hoses for these. And today we broke down. The Ford dealer was unopened. It was on a. Dorman makes them, but they couldn't get them for a week, and we didn't want to be stuck for a week. So we went to Home Depot and got some plumbing fittings, some 3/4 inch T and a coupling, and got us home. Problem had it that after about 2 weeks of driving this truck, we hadn't checked it, and this T is not rated for 210 or 220 degree temperatures. So what happened is this T, as you can see, is no longer a T. It's not straight anymore. It bent, it melted and kind of bent, and then it started leaking. So now we're trying to do it the right way and attempt to replace the factory hose back with a new factory hose. So I had one off, this is a 2015 5.0 Coyote 4-wheel drive pickup. Well, I had one off a 2017 5.0 Coyote pickup. And the one hose is exactly the same, the short hose. And the top, and then the bottom hose, the longer hose, is not exactly the same for some reason. They did some kind of a change. It's got an extra fitting in it and some stuff that you can't really
that my truck, this 2015, doesn't require. So we're gonna try to hope that this other hose, the longer of the two hoses, is long enough without the splice fitting in it to get down to the power steering cooler and whatever else it goes to. So we'll see.
Kids filming too.
Okay, so as you can see here, this isn't exactly the right hose. I'm gonna have to go ahead and get the right hose,
Make sure you're filming the right thing.
but I have stretched it to the right one. And I don't know if this is a transmission cooler or a power steering cooler, but as you can see right here,
It is right.
I got it hooked up right here onto this fitting. And it's got a regular hose clamp on it, but this is the top side that it's really a pain. So I'm gonna need to index this clamp. Let me pull this off, and because this clamp wasn't, this hose is actually bending the wrong way. As you can see, it bends back towards the motor, and I need one that bends outwards. So in order to make this one work, I've got to pull this clamp off
Twist it.
and get it. Yeah, I got it. It's just the clamp was there. Okay. So let me install this hose clamp and see if we can get it working. Be right back. Okay, so we got this hooked up, and I think it's gonna work.
Hopefully.
Let me show you what we had to change here. So you see that hose down in there. See where the new hose goes down and hooks to that. Hose clamps there, and the other side clamps here to that, and it comes up, and this is the lines I was telling you they sell them as doubles, and they go up here. Go back to your heater core. One snap block's there to the fitting that goes to your intake, and the other one goes to the other side. Is your one's going to be your return, and one's your feed. So there's those snap blocks I was telling you about. They're just push locks. So we got this one in place. It's not exactly the same as the 2017 two-wheel drive, but the other one's, it's maybe a few inches short, but we made it work. The fitting, you can see down there, it's kind of hard to see, but we stretch it down and it goes, and it's not in the way of anything. And it has just a hose clamp on the bottom. It goes down to that power steering cooler, and they've just got too much technical stuff on these new trucks. The more I work on this one, the less I like it. But anyway, it runs good, and I guess they probably worked for a while. This one had never been changed. These got 230,000 on them. And so I went ahead and I have an extra one of these upper radiator hoses. I've already replaced the Y that's underneath here. I did that a long time ago. That Y there is new. So I got a new one of these radiator hoses that I'm going to bring with me and put in the truck. And then this conglomeration down here, which I guess they're going to consider it a lower radiator hose. It snap blocks here onto bottom of the radiator, and then it goes down and has another one of these crimp fittings with two outlets on it that go down probably back to the transmission, or I'm not sure. I'd have to trace all those lines to figure out what they actually go to. I haven't figured that out. Don't care. Then this goes up here to the back up to the water pump. So I do have that hose and the other one, the upper radiator hose, so I'll be throwing those in the truck just in case they decide to go out. I'll have them with me, and I can change those on the road. The only other one is this overflow bottle, which is actually a radiator cap on these newer cars. As you can see here, this is your radiator cap. There is no technical radiator cap that we're used to, the old style. So this is the old new style and the regular now. And then there's one other hose here that goes underneath and hooks up to this top fitting. So if I had to, I could pull this snap block off here, fudge a hose over the top of that fitting, and this side here is a hose clamp. So if I'm on the road and I get jammed up, I got a hose and hose clamps with me. I was looking for that hose too off my other truck, but I don't have the radiator overflow bottle or the hose that goes there. So let's put coolant in it now and see if she's gonna work. Check Phillips, let me see here. So I did find out something out interesting. This hose are the same on these. It was my mistake. It's they spliced in 2 brass tees on the lines for, I used to have a twin turbo system on the other truck, and they spliced in 2 brass tees because those turbos were liquid cooled and oil lubricated, so they were liquid and oil BorgWarner turbos, and so the actual lines are the same. But what I was looking at looked different was the tees that they had spliced in. So let me show you real quick. Here's the cooler. Here's the other lines. And as you can see right there, those lines, that tee was spliced in, and this tee was spliced in where it goes down here to the fitting. So this is where they fed this is on the old truck, which you'll see later, is where they fed the original. We had installed a twin turbo system, and this is where they fed the liquid cooling to it, which I was unaware of until now. But now I know, because if I install the twin turbo system back on this truck off the old one, which I still have, now I'll know how to feed the cooling lines. So now we're just checking for leaks. It looks like we're good. I can't tell exactly. I gotta double check everything. But so far so good. And up top, all of our snap blocks look good. I really don't like their design, but I guess they work. I mean, they're probably actually really efficient when they do work. They just get old and brittle and give up on you at the most inopportune time, and they're not easy to fix on the side of the road. So, but it looks like we got it fixed now, and she'll probably be good for another 200,000. All right, guys, I think that'll do it for today. We will be back next week with another video and show you some more interesting stuff. Thanks again.